My name is Barry Scannell and I'm a consultant in William Fry's Technology Department. Well, in terms of my thoughts on the EU AI Act, I actually think it's a very good thing. I think that we need to start regulating AI somewhere. And the EU, as with a lot of technology and technological innovation that we're seeing, especially in the last 10 years, the EU seems to be taking the lead with it. So I think somebody needed to take the first step. I've been using the example of the David Attenborough documentary of the penguins standing on the ice and waiting for the first one to jump in. Well, that doesn't apply just to the EU and who's regulating it. It also applies to companies and deciding how they're going to go about implementing their own frameworks and governance as well. So I think the EU is setting a very good example, and something that we're certainly saying in William Fry to clients when we're advising clients on this issue is that the AI Act is a very good place to start. Even if you're not captured by the AI Act, and bearing in mind, of course, the AI Act isn't even enforced yet, it's still a really good framework in which to base your AI governance on, because it catches things like risk management, data governance, and things like that. One of the things where the AI Act is really useful is that it addresses copyright when it comes to things like foundation models. So a foundation model is a type of AI system like that in which everybody's familiar with ChatGPT is based. So ChatGPT is kind of the interface, but the actual model is called GPT-4. And there's lots of different models, and we're seeing a lot of different ways that people are using models come to fore. Then, on the other hand, we're seeing clients who are developing their own proprietary data sets to train their own proprietary foundation models. And an example would be, you'd have seen potentially Bloomberg have created Bloomberg GPT, which is a proprietary foundation model that Bloomberg created using Bloomberg's own data. So the thing is that the European Union Parliament introduced a new Article 28B in the latest text that's just been approved. And that deals with foundation models. And it actually puts on people who are using foundation models or developing them certain obligations under the AI Act that weren't potentially otherwise captured. And a lot of those obligations center around transparency, having humans in the loop, ensuring that the data is correct and adequate. And interestingly, one of the provisions in relation to foundation models relates to copyright. So the developers of foundation models will need to list every year what they call an adequate summary of any copyright information that was used to train the AI system. When it comes to biometric identification, the AI Act says that biometric identification used to verify that you're you wouldn't intend to be captured. And so that could be something like if you use your fingerprint on an iPhone or facial recognition for an iPhone, things like that. What it's seeking to exclude, and one of the things that is prohibited under the current draft is real-time remote biometric identification. So that would be, and some countries do have this, frighteningly enough, is that you could be walking down the street and there's CCTV cameras everywhere, and in real time, it's capturing everybody's face and saying this is Joe Bloggs and this is Mary Bloggs, and identifying every person everywhere at any given point in time. The thing is, in some countries, with AI being used in conjunction with the likes of social scoring, not only do you know where everyone is at any point in time, but also you have other biometrics attached to it. Then, there have been debate around the use of the Gardaí and facial recognition. So under the AI Act, what's called post-remote biometric identification will be permitted in very limited circumstances. So what does that mean? Well, post-remote biometric identification would be that you can go back after the fact and get CCTV footage and then apply facial recognition to it. But that would only be permitted in circumstances basically where you have something like a warrant from a judge. So it would be almost on the level of a search warrant for someone's house to help protect people's fundamental rights. The EU AI Act reflects the reality of what's actually happening. Now, when you consider something like a foundation model is brand new. The explosion really only happened in November in the public eye. We had the text-to-image models maybe this time last year, late spring, early summer of last year. And then even the GPT technology, generative pre-trained transformers, that's really only around since 2018. Google's paper that first discussed it came out in 2017. So this is all brand new stuff. But even at that, the definition as it currently stands would appear to be able to capture and deal with these new iterations of the technology. But we're probably going to be stuck with the GPT type architecture for the time being, because the next leap forward in AI probably won't come from the GPT transformer type technology, because it's a brute force type of technology. It's based on consuming all the data. And that's not very efficient from a computing point of view, from an energy point of view, and from many different point of views. So there's still loads of work to do in the AI world for the next big leap forward, but certainly from the time being, I think that what the EU is doing is definitely going in the right direction.